Hello and welcome to a special edition of Wire to Wire with Nolin RECC. Today we're featuring an interview with Nolin linemen Josh Hess and Ryan Ray. They're speaking with lead reporter for WQXE, Zach Epperson, about their recent experiences helping with the recovery effort in Alabama from Hurricane Sally.
So how are y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Awesome. So we're here to talk this morning about what you guys just did down there in the Gulf, helping out with recovery efforts with Hurricane Sally. So we'll just kind of lead off with that. So when the hurricane hits and you see all the destruction that happened down there, did you guys know pretty quickly that you guys would have to be called down there to help assist with getting some of the utilities back up? Or what was the situation like there?
I don't think we knew for sure we were going anywhere. We kind of hoped we would. You know, we all enjoy it. But I didn't know for certain really until they said, hey, listen, you're going. So
what's the process like for that? I mean, when you see a natural disaster like that happen kind of around the area, the region, I guess you could say, do you know that, you might be called upon to do that? Have you guys done something like that before?
Yeah, we've traveled I've been there since 96, and we've traveled a lot since then. I mean, we've hit a lot of the states in the South and been up north, and most of it's pretty regional, but yeah, we travel quite a bit.
Now, you said you've been there since 96. Ryan, is this your first time going to do something like this? Have you done something like this before? Or?
Oh, yeah. Done it quite a few times, actually. We've been to Georgia, South Carolina. He's been more places than I have, obviously, just because he's been in the...
I'm old.
Yeah, in the field a lot longer than I have. But, no, it's not my first time.
So let me ask you all this. So I've asked you about the first time if you all have been down there, but when did you exactly find out that you guys were going to head down there? Is it your supervisor telling you all you're going down there? Is it kind of the co-op saying, hey, we're going to come together with the others and come help these guys out? What's that like?
It happened the morning before.
Yeah,
the afternoon before.
We kind of anticipated. We thought we would be going, but we don't really know for sure. And usually we've got, sometimes 24-hour notice, to kind of get all your stuff together. And most of us already had a lot kind of geared up, I guess, or ready to go just in case. But, we usually get a day before.
So what's the process like of getting your stuff ready to go? You mentioned what kind of equipment do you all get ready? Because I saw the pictures you all put on social media. You had lines of trucks down there. So what kind of stuff do you all bring with you for something like that?
A lot of it depends on what the co-op we're going to assist request. If they need bucket trucks, or if they need a digger derrick, or if they need a track machine, or we took a couple digger derrick trucks, a couple bucket trucks, and we also took we have some 4-wheel drive trucks with like the big swamp tires on them. We took both of those down there, and we have a track machine that also went. So a lot of it depends on what they want, what kind of trains down there. It varies from storm to storm. We just kind of go by what they request.
So when did you all get down there to the Gulf initially? What was the date on that, and what did you guys see down there?
Was it Thursday?
It was Thursday.
I believe it was a Thursday, but
yeah.
I mean, the first job they sent us to, it was a 3-phase job, but there wasn't a wire in the air. Everything was broken on the ground. I think that's the video that we sent to Sarah, actually.
So there was nothing basically. It's all just gone.
Well, if anybody here can remember, like the ice storm we had here in, was it 09?
It was 09, yeah.
It looked a lot like that, except probably more wind. There's a lot of buildings missing roofs, and a lot of buildings on the ground. But they had a lot of damage. I mean, a lot.
I know you said you'd traveled a lot of places, Josh. I mean, comparing that to some of the other stuff you've seen, is that near the top of the list, or how would you put
as far as hurricanes go? I would say it was in the top 3 or 4. I mean, everybody talks about Hurricane Katrina or Hurricane Rita or whatever, and really where we were, the damage was just as bad as anything we worked on when we went to Hurricane Katrina. It was pretty bad.
So what kind of jobs did you guys do down there? I know you said it's kind of what the co-op down there asked of you guys, hey, we need help with this, or we need this. What exactly were you all doing down there? And I know you mentioned like 3-phase jobs. What's that kind of stuff?
Well, 3 phases, obviously, 3 conductors in the air versus just single phase, which is just one. You pretty much do anything that they need. You could be on 3-phase one day, and then you could be on single phase the next day, and then maybe the day after that, you're working on services to houses, which is secondary services. So you never know what you're getting ready to get into. You just, whatever they need, you're there to help.
It's kind of like when you wake up the next day, it's just kind of like, all right, I have no idea what my day's going to be like. Let's kind of check in and see what's going on.
That's exactly what it's like.
Speaking of that, waking up the next day, you all had some, I see the pictures on social media, some interesting living quarters down there. So what's that like? It looks like, to me, kind of like summer camping away, like bunk beds here. And
I guess after, a long day, it's a hot shower and a bed, a meal. I mean, that's really that's our expectations. We're not, it varies storm to storm. Sometimes, like I said, you might get a hotel room. Sometimes you're in a tent. This time we just happen to be in a tractor trailer full of bunk beds. So
I think it's nice.
And like I said, it's clean. It's clean. It's air conditioned. So I mean, we've definitely been in worse conditions. So
I know Nolin wasn't the only co-op that went down to help with the effort. So were there any other people going down there, or that was down there that you all had met before, worked before with some of those kind of efforts?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how many cooperatives the state sent, but yeah, we work with those guys. We've got guys from like Shelby County RECC and Owen up in Owenton and Salt River from Bardstown. They were, some of those guys were there. Warren, Bowling Green, Litchfield guys. I mean, yeah, we know a lot of those people. So yeah, we see them a lot with functions throughout the year. And then, like I said, we see them on the storm work as well. So
I know normal way life goes, your all's job is stressful, demanding as it is already. When you're put in that kind of situation down there, helping some, a community, a region rebuild from a storm, is there any kind of added stress with that your task that you're helping to kind of rebuild a region in a way?
The only stress I see is I'm stressed about what's going on here, because you've got houses, you've got yards the stuff that I need done here when I'm down there is what I'm stressed about more than the work down there. Like I said, you've got yards get mowed. You have kids need to get to school. You have, things that you do daily here. And, when you're gone for, 9, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, I mean, there's, you need help here to kind of take care of the stuff you have at home. So that's the only stress I feel. I'm not stressed out about anything going on down there.
Is it kind of almost just like routine for you guys because it's what you do?
Yeah, the stress doesn't come from down there. It's from up here.
Ryan, you kind of feel the same way?
A little bit, but he's at a more of a demanding role, I would say. He's above me, so he's got a lot more to worry about. He has to worry about the crew, and me, I just worry about me and a few other guys that may be around me working at the time. But I don't think there's any more added stress other than the fact of you might forget something when you're packing that you really need going down there.
Did you guys have that happen, or
not this time? Everybody did pretty well, I think. So
hard hat.
Oh, well, we had one guy who got a hard hat, but that's something easily found down there at another cooperative, though. So
no added stress.
When you all leave the area and you come back, of course, Josh, you said you've done this before, Ryan, yourself. Is there any kind of one image or something that sticks out in your mind, when you think about down there, any kind of, image of destruction or helping somebody out, anything that sticks out of your mind?
That place was a wreck. That's what I think.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How bad was it? I mean, on a scale of, I know you, Josh, you talked about it before, so in top 3 of what you said, but Ryan, what about yourself? I mean, had you seen anything like that before?
No, it's the biggest storm I've ever been a part of, but, of course, when people hear that, all these linemen are going down south because a hurricane hit, and you're thinking, depending on what hurricane you were on, Sally, which is, South Alabama, so everybody thinks that you're going down there to help the whole state of Alabama and the bottom, but we actually just went to one co-op. That's how bad it was. So it would almost be like Nolin having a bunch of outages, and then they send in 2,500 linemen just to Nolin. It's not like they were sending linemen to the state of Kentucky. We went to one co-op, and that's how many trucks and stuff we had because they got hit so hard. They were 100% out of power at one point, which is 78,000 meters. I'm not sure, but Nolin serves, 36? So, and I'm just throwing numbers out there, but they're a lot bigger than we are, and they knew it was really bad, and they sent that many people just for one co-op. It didn't have anything to do with the state. We went to one co-op, and it was that bad.
My goodness. Let me ask you all this. When you all left down there, what state were they left in? Had you all helped to get most of the service back? Were more crews coming in? What was the situation like when you left?
We were the last crew to pull out there, weren't we?
And they were probably at 100% of everybody that could be put back on. I mean, there's people with damage to their houses that they can't turn back on, but everybody that could be back on, I'm pretty certain was back on. I mean,
They were down like 100.
Yeah, they were less than 100 outages, and like you said, they were over 70,000 when we got there. So
you all were there for what, a period of
I think it's 9-10 days, something like that.
So in that span of time, you all along with all the co-ops that you mentioned were able to help get them pretty much back to full strength in terms of their utilities. That's pretty amazing. When it comes to all the clearing of lines and everything else, you all have to. Was there anything left that was salvageable down there that you could reuse, or was it having to put new lines up and all that kind of stuff? What was that like?
We salvage everything we can. Most of the wire that we worked on was we salvaged. Of course, obviously you can't salvage broke poles and cross arms or whatever, but we salvage everything we can just because they run into problems getting enough material. We run into that here with some of the restrictions we've had on with the COVID and all that. Some of these factories shut down. Some of our suppliers, we've had trouble getting just everyday material here, so you can imagine needing as much as they needed down there. So we salvage everything we can.
So did you all have to bring down poles and that kind of stuff for them, or was that all down there already?
Everything's there. So now we do use off our truck, some material that they may not have, but by the end of the storm, they're material-wise, they're usually in pretty good shape. We'll just replace what we've used. Or
Josh Hess and Ryan Ray joining us in this morning, talking about their help and the recovery efforts and getting people back on the grid down there in the Gulf in Alabama recently with Hurricane Sally. Guys, thanks so much for joining me this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You've been listening to an interview with Nolin lineman Josh Hess and Ryan Ray. They've been speaking with lead reporter for WQXE, Zach Epperson. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of Wire to Wire with Nolin RECC.